Hi class. I received a few concerned emails from some of you who are scoring low on the quizzes. So I wanted to spend a few minutes with you to both calm your fears about your grade, as well as to reiterate where you should be spending your time in this class. So keep calm, review these commonly missed questions, and move forward with confidence. First of all, focus your time on the important elements in this class. All of the quizzes from this semester are worth only 10% of your final grade. So if you perform poorly on a quiz, use that as an indicator that you didn't fully grasp some of the content and try to figure out why. Ask questions. The homework is a real biggie in this class, and it should be reasonable to do well on your homework. Homework is 30% of your grade, so you have all week to work on the homework and can make multiple attempts to bring your grade up. So my suggestion to you, if I was a student in this class, would be to print the homework early in the week and then treat it the way you would treat a take-home test. Keep it near you while you read the chapter, while you watch lectures, and while you read the PowerPoints. And toward the end of the week, enter your answers into MindTap and see how you score. If you're not happy with your score, then try again. Ask for additional lectures from me if you don't understand a concept. Do what you need to do to really make sure that you are doing your best and understanding the homework. The homework really matters in this class, so this is where you should be spending the bulk of your time. Lectures. Watch your lectures. Make sure you watch all the lectures provided. Remember, even though you may see a lot in there, most of them are quite brief. But in a few short minutes, you should be able to understand some concepts in an easier way than reading the textbook. I've picked those lectures because either I've recorded them myself, or a well-respected colleague has recorded them, or I think they're catchy and they're going to help explain things in a way that you're not going to get from the PowerPoint slides. All right, so on to some commonly missed questions from the two sections this term. First, policies such as rent control and trade barriers persist in spite of the fact that economists are virtually united in their opposition to such policies, probably because the correct answer to this is economists have not yet convinced the general public that the policies are undesirable. Economists offer crucial input into the policy process, but they're just one piece in a very, very messy political puzzle. You'll discover this semester that there are many strong opinions even within the world of economists, which feed the public very different recommendations. Politicians listen to the public because, after all, they're the ones who vote them into office. And this whole reason is one of the primary reasons why the Federal Reserve is not a role that's subject to the political voting process. This question, economic models. The correct answer is can be useful, even if they're not particularly realistic. Now, this question should have rung a little familiar after watching the lecture about the purpose of models. In the lecture video, the analogy of a map was given. Would we want a map with every detail down to each tree, or do we want something that represents a bigger picture? Economic models are the same way. They capture a very limited picture, a very clean picture, but it's not always very realistic. It allows us to test various theories, though, and that's important. So think of the meat and potato production possibility frontier described in Chapter 3. That's a model. It's used to illustrate the advantages of trade with two people who are capable of producing two and only two products. No, this isn't realistic, because I don't know any world where someone would live off of only meat and potatoes that they grow themselves. But the model helps us understand how both people are better off using trade through Ricardo's theory of comparative advantage. This question, among economic models, the circular flow diagram is unusual in that the correct answer does not involve mathematics. And I understand why a lot of you got this wrong. Many of you put features flows of dollars. The model itself doesn't stipulate how many dollars. It just illustrates how the flow of money would travel between businesses and households. So in this situation, the best answer would be that it does not involve math, because they don't actually have any values placed within the circular flow model. You don't see $50 comes from this person and flows to the the wages side. You don't see actual dollar amounts. You just visualize a fictional dollar process. So this is one of those multiple choice questions where you're looking for the best answer. And no matter how you look at it, the circular flow diagram does not involve math. Belarus has a comparative advantage in the production of linen, but Russia has an absolute advantage in the production of linen. So Belarus is comparative and Russia is absolute. If these two countries decide to trade, then the correct answer would be Belarus should export linen to Russia. Whenever a country has absolute advantage, if it is going to enter into trade, they should specialize in the item that they have that advantage in. This is in line with Ricardo's view that countries should specialize. So think of it through the eyes of a swimmer. Say a swimmer can swim all 4 strokes very, very well. However, they may have the absolute advantage in one particular stroke, meaning they can swim, say, the backstroke better than anyone else on the team. If we were going to look at this from an economic perspective, that swimmer should focus on the backstroke to maintain their absolute advantage. Yes, they are also good at freestyle, possibly even better at freestyle than other teammates, but in Ricardo's view, it is still best for specialization to take place. So let that person focus on freestyle, as they may have a comparative advantage, and swimmer Joe needs to focus on backstroke, where he has the absolute advantage. So why do countries do this? Well, if you look at Chapter 2, and remember Chapter 2, when we learned about the production possibility frontier, and if you look on page 24, you'll remember that a country can't produce at point C. That was the point that was on the outside of their production possibility curve, or production possibility frontier. However, through trade and specialization, everyone's standard of living rises, and you can see that illustrated on page 51. Through trade, countries can live at points A and B. Those were points that were previously unattainable in the old possibility curve, production possibility curve. So this question, when can 2 countries gain from trading goods? And the correct answer is 2 countries could gain from trading 2 goods under all of the above conditions. So this is another question that fits along the same line of gains from trade. This is like our swimmer who's good at all 4 strokes. If he specializes at his best stroke, he will become far better at his stroke than ever before. So when a country specializes at producing one item and puts all of their resources toward that one item, you can imagine they're going to be very, very, very good at it. And they can trade for other things they need, as their item is going to be in demand. It's an efficient, high-quality item. And this will allow the entire country to live at a higher standard of living. Now remember, according to Ricardo, trade is always beneficial to both countries. So if you haven't done so already, make sure you watch the 60-second Adventures in Economics about trade. It's found in Module 2. When I show this in the seated class, I usually play it 2 or 3 times because there's a lot of information packed in 60 seconds. But it's definitely worth your time. I hope that this helps to make you feel a little bit more comfortable moving forward. Remember, there are a lot of points to be earned in this class, so focus your time on the homework, also on your current events, your test, and your comprehension questions. If you haven't already done so, please secure a copy of How an Economy Grows and Why It Crashes. As you'll see when you flip through it, it's a very, very light read. I think that many of you would benefit from reading the first 4 chapters of that book. When I say 4 chapters, we're talking very, very light chapters. Think children's book chapters. But I think that it would help you understand some of these basic economic concepts. A lot of you haven't been exposed to these concepts before, and I understand that. And it's always hard in the beginning. But I promise that it will get better. It's just a steep learning curve in the beginning. You'll see a lot of these concepts in the quizzes on your tests and your final exams. So if you still don't understand things moving forward and you're looking at your quiz questions and you just don't understand why your answer was wrong, please ask for help. I'll either record more videos, or I can talk with you on the phone, or I can write you a lengthy email, whatever is going to help you better understand it. All right, have a nice night. Thanks.